What's up, guys? Jason Voorhees AJ here, and I decided that with Black Ops 7 coming to its conclusion with Rex and Furnace, I was going to do an upgraded tier list ranking the COD zombie maps. In my previous video, I described that I was just going basically off of fun factor, not including Easter eggs, the wonder weapons, and all that stuff, and I was still talking about aspects of the map to describe it. I'm going to do, in my opinion, what I think the, for this list will be ranking all the maps and doing the best map of each game. However, in the previous tier list, I did not include Black Ops 7. Now this list that I found on the same app that I used for Tier Maker, they now have all the Black Ops 7 maps. Now, at the moment of recording this video, we currently do not have Rex and Furnace playable. So I will be including every map excluding Rex and Furnace. But what I will do as a caveat for you guys, I will list it as how I hope the map's going to be, being the final map for Black Ops 7 Zombies, assuming they don't do another survival map added on. But anyway, let's get started. Nocturne Totem from World at War. I should probably check to make sure they don't reappear for Zombie Chronicles, which last time did that. And for this tier list, it's strictly going to be Treyarch zombies, which I believe the other tier list I did had non-Treyarch zombies, so we're going to start out with Nocturne Totem. First map, straight out the gate, it got the mode started from where we now see it today. So, but I will say there's not a lot of features or replayability. However, back in World at War, playing it back on the PS3 and Xbox 360, because I had it on both, it had a fun factor to it. And I did have it on the DS, but I don't believe Zombies was on the DS version, so we're not going to include it for that. But I'm going to put it in for C tier. Now, be advised that as this list goes on, I can be changing what tier the maps are on as I'm going through. Verrückt introduced perks. It introduced a power switch. That alone, I want to put it at least into Air B tier. What I will say is, with Verrückt, for me, it had a fun factor when playing with multiple people. I feel like between solo and multiplayer, it had two different aspects for how the gameplay was done. So I will put it in the B tier. Shinonuma, the pinwheel design for it, I do in fact like. I don't like it as much as I do Verrückt. However, we've had so many iterations of Nocturne Totem and Shinonuma that I'll put it slightly in front of Nocturne Totem just for right now. Now, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I'm going to put Dries directly behind Verrückt. Just because I feel like Verrückt, in my opinion, is the best map of World at War Zombies. And in conclusion, granted, Dries did bring the Pack-a-Punch, being the first map to have Pack-a-Punch for Call of Duty Zombies. Verrückt just had that fun factor to it of replayability. Dries did too, but I feel like with Dries, there was more to it than just adding the Pack-a-Punch. And Verrückt, just the atmosphere of Verrückt alone kept it as the highest tier for World at War. Moving on to Black Ops 1, Community Totem. A lot of people are probably going to say this map is very overrated. For me, it's every time I jumped into Black Ops 1, which I didn't do for World at War, but I'm gonna say this right now. For World at War, my warm-up map would always be Verrucht. For those of you that don't know what a warm-up map is, it's the second you launch the game, what's the first map you're going to play before you start playing through all the other maps. Verrucht is always going to be my first playthrough when it comes to the World at War maps. For Kindred of Toten, it's my always go-to. Before I play any other map, I'm going to jump on the Kino, basically get a feel for it, and then take over the other maps as I play along. I would put Kindred of Toten in the A tier. In my opinion, it's one of my favorite maps of Call of Duty Zombies, if not one of the best of all time, just for its simplicity. And sometimes playing zombies, at least in my perspective, there's certain maps to where I commemorate them for their complicity, but with Kindred of Toten, it's just very simple. You turn on the power, you link the Pack-a-Punch, and you get 5,000 points, and you jump over and you Pack-a-Punch. It's pretty straightforward. Five. I would definitely put 5 behind Kino. There is aspects about 5 that I do love. I love the casting for the characters that we're playing with. I love the multi-level tiers for it. But the reason it's behind Kino is there's a little bit of complexity with 5, to whereas Kino, again, with its simplicity, is unmatched. Ascension, in my opinion, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, I believe, in my own opinion, Ascension is the best DLC that came out of Black Ops 1. Now, you can jump forward and say Call of the Dead, Shangri-La, and Moon were so much better. Moon brought back all the World at War maps into it. But for me, I would say Ascension is in the S tier, because there's the atmosphere of it. It's something that, for Black Ops 1, it was setting the tone for what was going to come for the rest of the game. Because you have Ascension being the first DLC and Moon being the final, whereas Ascension's prepping to go to the Moon, and then Moon being the final DLC concluding there. I just thought was just perfect, in my opinion. Just absolutely perfect. Call of the Dead, I would definitely say it would go behind Verrucht, but I wouldn't be truthful to myself. But for right now, I'm going to put it behind Verrucht, because I felt that Call of the Dead, in my opinion, as a solo map, which a lot of my time playing Call of Duty Zombies has been solo. I have played with others, but a majority of the time it's me playing by myself, playing zombies, doing solo runs. And Call of the Dead, I feel like it's more fun when you have friends to play with, rather than doing it solo. But Verrucht, in my opinion, just the atmosphere, and Call of the Dead, just having George Romero, Robert Englund, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Danny Trejo, and Michael Rooker, it was the first cameo map. And I do commemorate it for being the first cameo map. Shangri-La. From our last tier list that, if you guys watched, you'll know that Shangri-La was, in my opinion, my least favorite map, just because it was slightly more complex compared to the other maps. And with me, it's with zombies, and at least in my opinion, I'm more towards the chillaxed, intermediate, like, have a little bit of difficulty, but not so much that I'm having to do so much prep. And Shangri-La requires a lot of prep. I'll put it in front of Nocturne Tone, but I probably won't pass it past Shunu. I'm not saying that Shangri-La is a terrible map. It's just not my cup of tea. that in with it being a daytime map, and you're going to say, well, Verrückt was a daytime map too. And to that, I simply just say the atmosphere of Verrückt. Going on the Moon, it's tricky because I'm going to put Moon behind Verrückt. Moon does get complicated, but there is a simplicity to it to where it's a mix of both worlds. A lot of hate is about to come this way, and it's for the sheer fact that I'm gonna put Transit right behind Call of the Dead in B tier. And simply because at the time, and I think up until probably Ashes of the Dead, it was a large map, and especially playing with others in multiplayer, it just had so much going for it to where everyone could have their own section on the map and it wouldn't interfere with training spots. Bus Depot, I would put it in front of Shangri-La just because when you're playing with 4 people in Bus Depot, it is hilarious because of how small the map is. On solo, it's okay, you know, it's doable. But with 4 people, it really puts up a challenge and makes it fun. Farm, I would definitely put in front of Shangri-La as well, but behind Bus Depot. Just because when we get to Black Ops 7, you guys will understand why it's getting put where it is. And for my next S tier map, it has to be Town. It is very simple. On solo, you can get yourself set up. On multiplayer, you can do the Tombstone glitch to acquire all the perks. There's so much I can say, but I'm trying to keep this video as short, probably not going an hour like the previous video. Next up on the list is Nuketown Zombies. This one probably will change on the list, but for right now, I will definitely put Nuketown Zombies probably right behind Moon. Just because the M27. There's other explanations, but for right now, the M27. Die Rise. I would definitely put Die Rise in front of Bus Depot, Farm, Shangri-La, and Nocturne Tonen. It's not, in my opinion, it's my least favorite map of Black Ops 2, but it does have its traits with trolling. Solo-wise, there's not much to it. Mob of the Dead, probably beating on the dead horse here. I would put it in S tier. Second cameo map of Call of Duty Fallen Call of the Dead, but I thought Mob of the Dead's execution was very phenomenal, especially coming right after, you know, Die Rise, having Mob of the Dead come in and just it was like having a terrible appetizer and then you're getting this amazing entree. Moving on next to our list, Buried. I would definitely put, especially now with Black Ops 2 being ported to current gens, I would put Buried right behind Kinder Toten. And it's weird because ever since the ports for Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 came out, I played the Black Ops 1 port once, and then I've gone into Black Ops 2, and I just keep going back. And Buried, right now, it's becoming my go-to map for my warm-ups, whereas normally Town was back on the PS3. But now in current gen, Barry's becoming my warm-up map. Origins, I would definitely put right behind Moon. Just because the assembly of all the staffs for me, I feel like a map that's coming up did it so much better. Not even gonna talk about it. Shadows of Evil is automatically S tier. In my opinion, as a launch map, it raised the bar so high with how Black Ops 2 was, and then we jump into Shadows of Evil, and it just blew my expectations out of the water. I was going in the Black Ops 3 thinking, okay, Black Ops 2 Zombies was kind of a mixed bag. We would have a good map, bad map, good map, bad. And Shadows of Evil came in and just basically swept the floor. The Giant, I will admit, the Giant does hold a special place in my heart. And as you guys can see, Doris is in B tier, which isn't terrible. But the Giant does hold a special place in my heart. And I would definitely put it... Just because on Black Ops 3, that was my jump to warm-up map. And every time I go into Black Ops 3, before I jump into any other map, I jump straight into the Giant. Played it since a couple days early when I got the Black Ops 3 to play a couple days early. Jumped into the Giant, and then I jumped into Shadows of Evil, and then found out Shadows of Evil is much more fun with others, whereas Giant is a perfect solo warm-up map. In my opinion, it is as simplistic as it is. It holds a special place in my heart. But I'm not gonna lie, I gotta put Doris up there. I mean, not Doris, Darius and Drac. With Origins basically making it with the 4 elemental weapons, at the time of its release, I was not gung-ho with, assembling and building the staffs. That wasn't really my forte. At the time, it was just jumping in the zombies, getting as many points as I can, pack a punch, and seeing what round I get to. By the time I got to Darius and Drac, I was like full on in Easter egg craze. I was going sporadic, trying to get all the bows completed. Wolf bow, in my opinion, is my favorite bow. Every time I jump in, the wolf bow is the one I go to. Darius and Drac, I would say, is my favorite map. You can say overrated. I know a bunch of people are, they praise it. And I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this tier list. But I would definitely say that Darius and Drac, just bangers. Like, in my opinion, Black Ops 3 at that point was... They were bringing up bangers. Shadows of Evil, the Giant, and Darius and Drac. You're bringing 3 amazing maps in, and just absolutely phenomenal. Zetsubo no Shima. Jason Blundell said that it was the most fun because it was the most creative freedom that he had. I did like Zetsubo no Shima. There was a lot of stuff about the map that I wasn't a super fan of. The wonder weapon was, not my forte. If I was playing with someone else, I would always let someone else have that. Whereas in Darius and Drac, I would literally fight you for the wolf bow. I had a friend that would come in, he would want the void bow. Never argue with him, you can have the void bow. I had one that came in that wanted the fire bow. You can have the fire bow, I don't care. Had someone come in and they're like, I want the lightning bow. You can have it as long as I have the wolf bow. We're fine. I think only once was I playing with a friend that wanted the wolf bow, and I was like, "You got to pick any other bow. I'll build the bow for you. Just let me keep the wolf bow." But Zetsubo no Shima, just for its creativity, I will put it right behind 5. And I will receive a lot of hate. It is my... I'm about to do my live stream soon of redoing all the Black Ops 3 maps. This may be a different list entirely, because as soon as Rex Infernus comes out and I play through the map and the Easter egg and everything gets solved and we get that concluding cutscene for Black Ops 7, concluding the story since Cold War that we've been getting, I will redo this tier list again. So this is my second take on this tier list. But Gorod Krovi brought back the PPSH, something we haven't seen since World at War in zombies. And it is so much fun to play Gorod Krovi. The atmosphere and the setting of it made me feel like they took it straight out of the World at War campaign and just upped the graphics. Revelations, in my opinion, I do have fun with it. And I will definitely put it in front of Nuketown Zombie. Well, actually, I will put it in front of Moon. For the sake of Black Ops 4, I will do the Chaos maps in chronological order for the ranking. I just went back and did a BO4 live stream a few days ago, as you guys saw. Dead of the Night, I literally went in just for shits and giggles. And replaying it, I will put it above Ascension in town. It felt fun. Followed by Voyage of the Spare. Voyage of the Spare, in my opinion, is my least favorite of the Chaos storyline. So I will put it at the top of C list. 9, I would definitely say is above Dead of the Night, but I do love Dead of the Night. Blood of the Dead added so much more. My one peak with Black Ops 4 is the point system, and I did describe that. There's other stuff, the way the perks were all laid out. The perks, I found a way doing the secret sauce, rotating throughout the map, and that, for me, kept it fresh. Blood of the Dead, I would definitely say, is... It outdoes Verrückt. There we go. Oh, up, 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 up. And... oh. I jumped the gun on that doing Blood of the Dead before Ancient Evil. But you know what? That's fine. We'll circle back to that. Classified, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this because I preferred Classified over 5. Just because we got to teleport to Groom Lake for Pack Punch, and I thought that was a cool feature. I'm gonna get hate for this. I'm gonna put Baird in front of Kino. But Classified, in my opinion, is my Black Ops 4 warm-up. Doing the Nova Crawlers and getting the 40 Nova Crawlers right on round 1, basically getting the points to get the map opened up, I thought was a cool concept. And in my opinion, and you're going to hear that a lot, I'm probably going to try to find a way to not say in my opinion. But Classified, as simplistic as it is, it's my absolute favorite of Black Ops 4, at least for the Ether storyline. And just because it's so simplistic. Boy, I'm going to get a bunch of hate for the way I'm changing this up. Ancient Evil, it's it was, at the moment, the conclusion for the Chaos storyline. I did think it was a good map as a partial send-off. It wasn't the complete conclusion for Chaos, but due to time restrictions and budget cuts, that was the conclusion for Chaos at the moment. They might circle back to it on a later date, and I hope they do, because the Chaos storyline was very good, and I was very disappointed that we didn't get to expand on that story, with the original plan for Black Ops 4 having year 1 being Chaos, and then year 2 being the Ether maps. And I'm hoping that eventually they rekindle that storyline. Alpha Omega. I'll put it between Moon and Origins. Now, the way that this list looks, you guys are probably thinking, this guy straight up does not like Origins. And it's not that. It was, every Zombies map is made for a particular player. And for me, Origins was not that map for me. I had a very different opinion of it when it came back for Zombie Chronicles compared to when it was on Black Ops 2. But it's still not a map that I can jump into, and by round 20 I feel satisfied with how I'm going so far in the game. And it's nothing against Origins. I think it's a phenomenal map. It's just not a top tier map in my opinion. And it's okay. This whole list is on my opinion. Tagged or Toten. I did like the added expansions to it compared to Call of the Dead. I'm still going to put it behind Nuketown Zombies. I do think map layout is better than Call of the Dead, but storyline wise, Call of the Dead is better than Tagged or Toten. But layout of the map, I would say Tagged or Toten wins. If you guys watch any of my live streams or videos I've posted, Die Machine for Cold War is my go-to for playing on that game. Firebase Seed never really had a lot to play. As you guys know, one of my friends that I play online with, Cadet Sharp, which now in current live streams when I play Warzone with him, Baba Yaga, he could never play Firebase C. And recently I just did a live stream with Free Boys where we played Firebase C, and we both had like an insane amount of fun playing it. So I will put Firebase C right behind Ancient Evil. Mauer de Tone, we did that on the live stream the other day, and it was incredibly fun. We decided to stay in the spawn room, me and Free Boys, until round 10, and then we found that the Panzer showed up, and I thought the power had to be turned on for the Panzer to show up. Incredibly fun. I will put that in front of Ancient Evil and past Firebase Sui. Forsaken, besides the very start of the match, as you progress, I do think there's a fun factor. But I will put that in front of Firebase C, but behind Ancient Evil. We've gone through 5 Black Ops games so far, and World at War, for a total of 6 games. We are now in Black Ops 6. Just because Liberty Falls is one of my all-time favorite maps of all time. And when this list is done, I will refresh the page and I will tell you my favorite maps on each game, not where it's a tier list, but just posting my favorite maps. But Liberty Falls, I can jump in the Black Ops 6, and if I just want to do let's see how many rounds I can get to, Liberty Falls is my go-to map. Terminus is, for me, the map is a chore. Whereas Liberty Falls, it's just launch the game, jump in, get started going for it. And it's to the point to where I'm gonna probably do another Black Ops 6 live stream, replay all these maps. Maybe my opinion changes every time I play one of these zombies games, whether it's World at War or Black Ops 7. Playing through these maps again changes my perspective on the previous time I did it. Citadel Day More, I will definitely put it in front of Moon. It's not my favorite map of Black Ops 6, but it is fun. I do have a video on my YouTube channel to where it was, I believe I made it to like round 51 or 52, and on round 41, my friend I was playing with lagged out of the session, so I was playing by myself. And it became very hilarious. The Tomb. I will put you in front of Transcend and Die Rise, but I will not put you in front of Call of the Dead. It had fun factors, but it was not, in my opinion, besides like during challenges in events, The Tomb is not a map that I go back to and play. And I'll have to do a video doing each game separately instead of doing all the games from World at War WAW-B07, and that will be in a different video. Shattered Veil. You brought back the Mark II and the Wonder Waff. I will definitely put you gotta put you in front of Ancient Evil. The Reckoning. First, maybe like 4 or 5 times playing The Reckoning. Did not like Uberklaus. But the map slowly grew on me, and by the time Black Ops 7 came around, Uberklaus was nothing. But I would definitely put it In front of Revelations, but behind Verrucht. Ashes of the Damned, we are now in Black Ops 7. And this has all of the side maps to the survival maps, which I will include. Which my last video I did honorable mentions for Black Ops 7. The only one we will not do an honest ranking for is Rex and Furnace, but I will put where I'm hoping it's going to be at. And when the map comes out, I'll do a live stream, obviously, and see if my opinion changes. Ashes of the Damned. You're a version of Transit, but 1,000 times better. And to try to keep this video short, I'll just leave it at that. Vandor Farm. I want to do a warm-up. I'm going to jump in the Vandor Farm. You are going to jump past town. I think, in my opinion, between Town and Black Ops 2 and Vandor Farm and BO7, going to Curse, Survival, going to Vandor Farm, I feel like it's funner than Town. Survival map wise, I would probably say that Vandor Farm is my favorite. X115, you are going to go behind Ascension, but you are also in that excellent tier list. A fun survival map. Cosmodrome, you are just a branched off version of Ascension, but I have not done a lot of replays of Cosmodrome as compared to it, so I will put it I will we'll put it in front of Reckoning for right now. Ashwood, I've played with 4 people on it, and I will say it is not a map made for probably more than 2 people. But I have played it more than Cosmodrome. For right now, I put Ashwood in front of it. Astra Malorum. I'll put you in front of Reckoning. Mars Survival, very fun with friends. It is a very goofy map. I would definitely put it above Astra Malorum. Paradox Junction. Did I? I would say you take Nuketown Zombies in Alpha Omega and you say what worked, what didn't work. And then Nuke Survival, I would put that right behind Verrucht. Totenreich. I've played the map enough to have an opinion, but I'm going to be honest, I don't know where to place it. So for right now, we're just going to put it right behind Verrucht. And it's, I don't know how to opinionate the map, in my opinion. The survival map for it, I just did a live stream yesterday of it. And I will put it, for right now, because I've played more Nuke Survival, for right now I'll put it right here. Even though I would say it's probably higher than Ashwood, you know, for right now we'll put it in front of Ashwood. Kawaka Joe. Probably not saying that correctly. I would still think that I would say it's better than the Lighthouse. The defend rounds are giving me kind of like that Origins vibe, to where they take out the generator and you got to redo the generator and all that stuff. It's a fun map, but for me it's not super high up there. And now we get to the caveat on where I'm hoping Rex and Furnace is going to be the finale. We have no details on it. We haven't seen gameplay trailers. All we have is just this one image here, and the fact that it's going to be the final map of Black Ops 7. And I will say this, before I conclude this list, once I put Rex and Furnace in the spot, I'm going to go through, double check, and rearrange maps, now having other maps put in, which I should have probably ranked these before I did. I kind of did like a blind ranking as I was going along, and didn't think about all the maps in conclusion. I'm hoping it surpasses I'm hoping it's a great map. I'm not holding out that it's going to be the greatest map ever, but I'm really hoping that it will be, you know, that breath of fresh air that we needed. I will go through the list, basically showing where the tier list is at. And I'm going to reset the board. I'm going to tell you my favorite and least favorite map of each game. So right now, the positionings of these... S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier. I will now reset the board and tell you my favorite map of each game and my least favorite. So this tier list, they're going to get rearranged. The orders, the classes that they're listed in, but the order that they're listed in my opinion, I'm not 100% on right now. I have to replay every single map, and I'll come back after I do all the maps, and I'll give you guys my definitive. But for right now, this is my second take on rankings for Call of Duty Zombies from World at War to Black Ops 7. Just Treyarch maps right now for this list, at least.